You receive a text message. It warns that your bank account requires an urgent KYC update to avoid suspension. You tap the link. In the fractions of a second it takes that page to load, malicious code deploys. A lifetime of savings and a carefully guarded personal identity vanish into an anonymous offshore account. Attackers frequently target populations with less digital experience. Seniors, who may place higher trust in authoritative-looking interfaces, are especially vulnerable to these deceptive prompts. This chart shows the escalating macroeconomic toll of these scams, tracking global financial losses from cyber attacks that reached $17.4 billion in 2024. Physical burglary involves risk and a crowbar. Modern theft reaches higher yields by simply convincing a target to voluntarily provide their login credentials. These localized attacks do not happen in a vacuum. They are fueled by massive vulnerabilities at the corporate level, perfectly illustrated by the 2017 Equifax data breach. Hackers infiltrated one of the top consumer credit reporting agencies, extracting the names, birth dates, and social security numbers of 148 million citizens. Alongside personal identities, the attackers walked away with 209,000 credit card numbers, creating massive, immediate financial exposure. This harvested corporate data is the raw material for localized attacks. Criminals cross-reference stolen databases to craft the highly convincing, hyper-targeted text messages that trick everyday users. If a multi-billion-dollar credit reporting agency fails to protect its core assets, the average consumer operates within a persistently compromised digital environment. To exploit this environment, hackers often bypass complex technical firewalls entirely. They use social engineering to target the user directly. Through baiting and scareware, attackers generate fake pop-up alerts. These messages manufacture a false sense of panic regarding computer infections, pressuring the victim into immediate action. They also deploy vishing, or voice phishing. Attackers call victims directly, impersonating bank officials or law enforcement to exploit natural human trust and authority. These psychological tactics are packaged into fake UPI payment requests and fraudulent banking applications designed specifically to harvest OTPs and PINs. A server can have the most advanced encryption available, but the human mind's susceptibility to fear and greed remains a permanent vulnerability in the network. While social engineering hacks the user, the software itself has escalated in severity. In 1989, early malware like the AIDS Trojan had to be physically distributed on floppy disks. By 2013, the CryptoLocker attack introduced a highly profitable model. It locked user data and demanded ransom payments in untraceable cryptocurrency, making extortion viable at scale. The threat peaked in 2017 with WannaCry. It operated as an autonomous worm, spreading across networks globally without requiring any human interaction to propagate. WannaCry paralyzed 300 organizations across 150 countries. It locked down critical infrastructure, summarily disrupting operations at the United Kingdom's National Health Service. In less than 3 years, malware grew from an isolated computer nuisance into a weapon capable of halting a nation's essential services in hours. Today, this threat is structured as an economy. The current frontier is ransomware as a service, where advanced attack tools are sold via subscription on the dark web. This chart shows how the business model lowers the barrier to entry. Anonymous, elite developers sit at the top, leasing out sophisticated hacking tools to low-skill affiliates who execute the attacks. Artificial intelligence accelerates this ecosystem. Automated layers process vast amounts of data to find targets and generate hyper-realistic deepfakes for phishing campaigns. The end product of this criminal supply chain is a completely locked system, held hostage behind a screen demanding millions of dollars for the decryption key. Modern attackers operate as highly organized AI-driven corporate syndicates with trillion-dollar revenues. Acknowledging this reality is the first step in defense. Every individual interacting online is operating on a permanent digital battlefield. The foundational rule of this environment is zero trust. Absolute skepticism must be applied to all unsolicited emails, text messages, and phone calls. Multi-factor authentication serves as an essential, non-negotiable secondary lock. If a password is stolen, MFA prevents the attacker from accessing the account. Routine operational security forms the rest of the shield. exclusively using verified HTTPS websites, logging out of banking sessions, keeping software patched, and never sharing OTPs. Threat actors rely heavily on tricking users to bypass systems. By maintaining strict, proactive digital hygiene, individuals can effectively deflect attacks from advanced syndicates. Surviving an era of automated ransomware requires moving from being a passive consumer of technology to an active digital defender. No matter how sophisticated an AI-driven attack becomes, it almost always requires a human being to make a mistake and open the door. Trillions in criminal infrastructure still depend on a single moment of human cooperation. When a user recognizes the deception and stops, the entire machine fails.